Consider the humble spider, weaving its intricate silken world. Have you ever pondered the origin of the word Arachnid? It whispers of ancient Greece, and a myth far darker than commonly told. Meet Arachne, a mortal whose weaving skill challenged a goddess. This is a tale of breathtaking artistry, divine jealousy, and a terrifying transformation, but the familiar legend hides deeper truths. Guided by Ovid's Metamorphoses, we unravel the full saga. Arachne's specific origins, the shocking contest, its brutal climax, and her symbolic fate. Arachne was no ordinary mortal. She hailed from Lydia, specifically the town of Hypeipa near Colophon, a land renowned for its luxurious textiles and costly purple dyes. Her father, Idmon, was a master craftsman himself, famed as a wool dyer specializing in the prized Phocian purple. Her mother, Ovid tells us, was also of common stock. Thus, Arachne's extraordinary fame arose solely from her own unparalleled talent. In a rigid hierarchical society, she was a true phenomenon, a self-made artistic genius. Her skill wasn't just proficient, it was transcendent, possessing an almost magical quality. Ovid vividly describes how nymphs would forsake their sacred streams, like the river Pactolus and their lush vineyards on Mount Tmolus, simply to witness the mesmerizing grace of her work. They watched her wind yarn, tease fleece, twirl the spindle, and expertly handle the loom and needle. But within this mastery grew a fatal flaw. Her profound pride stemmed not from mere arrogance, but from absolute confidence in her own genius. Critically, she adamantly denied that Athena, the goddess of wisdom and weaving, had imparted any knowledge. Ovid observed, "You would know Pallas taught her," though she denied it. This fierce rejection of divine inspiration, this claim of sole authorship, was the core act of hubris that ignited a divine rivalry. Fueled by her success, Arachne uttered the fateful boast, "Let her contend with me." This direct challenge reached Athena, yet the goddess offered a chance for redemption. Disguised as a frail old woman, she gently advised Arachne, "Seek mortal fame, but yield to the divine and ask forgiveness." Arachne reacted not with humility, but with scornful fury. Ovid describes her scowling, face flushed with anger, nearly striking the disguised goddess while demanding, "Why comes she not herself? Why shuns she trial?" This defiant disrespect sealed her fate. Athena cast off her disguise, and the contest began, not merely a test of skill, but a war of narratives woven in thread. Athena's tapestry depicted divine order, her triumphant contest with Poseidon for Athens, judged by the majestic Olympians. Crucially, in the four corners, she wove explicit warnings. Rhodope and Haemus turned to mountains for impersonating gods. Girana, the pygmy queen, transformed into a crane. Antigone of Troy, punished for vanity, and Cinyras' daughters turned to stone steps. Her border, woven with olive branches, symbolized peace under divine rule. Arachne's creation, however, was a breathtaking, subversive exposé. It depicted the crimes and deceptions of the gods, their lustful pursuits of mortals, often featuring their notorious transformations: Zeus as a bull for Europa, a swan for Leda, a shower of gold for Danae, Poseidon as a ram, a horse, a dolphin. Ovid emphasizes its technical perfection. Not Pallas, not even Envy herself, could find a flaw. Athena's fury, therefore, was ignited solely by the masterful, undeniable, and deeply offensive truths Arachne flawlessly wove, the celestial crimes laid bare for all to see. Athena did not merely critique Arachne's work, she erupted in fury. Ovid recounts her raw anger, grieved by its success, enraged by the celestial crimes so perfectly displayed. The goddess violently tore Arachne's masterpiece to shreds, destroying the damning evidence woven into its fabric. Then came an act often overlooked. Athena seized her shuttle, crafted from hard Cytorian boxwood, and repeatedly struck the mortal weaver upon the forehead. A tool of creation became a weapon of divine retribution. Utterly broken by the humiliation and the obliteration of her life's work, non tulit dolorem, Ovid writes, she could not bear the pain. Arachne fashioned a noose and attempted to end her life. Seeing her hang, Athena felt a flicker of what Ovid calls pity, miserata est. She prevented death, but bestowed a far crueler fate. "Live on indeed, wicked one," the goddess pronounced, "but hang thou still." This curse, extending even to Arachne's descendants, was an eternal sentence mirroring her moment of despair. Then, sprinkling Arachne with the juice of Hecate's herb, likely the poisonous aconite, the gruesome transformation began. Her hair fell away, nose and ears vanished, her head and body shrank drastically. Fingers elongated into slender legs attached to her sides. The rest of her formed the abdomen, from which, Ovid chillingly notes, she still spins thread. Antiquus exercet aranea tellus, the spider practices her former arts. Her very name, Arachne, the Greek word for spider, gives us the scientific classification Arachnida. Condemned to weave fragile temporary webs, she remains an eternal, diminished echo of her genius. Thus, the myth of Arachne transcends a simple warning against pride. It remains a dark, complex narrative exploring the precarious fate of mortal genius confronting divine power. We witness the danger of art that critiques authority, the brutal nature of godly retribution, and the unsettling justice of her endless weaving. A timeless story, compelling us to reflect on the price of defiance and the enduring power of creation.